All right, we're going to intermix this paint, commonly referred to as boxing paint. We've already got the first coat on our surfaces. We've done our secondary prep. Now we're going to put on the final coat. We're working out of 2 separate gallon containers, and even though it's the same exact color, same product, when they're mixed in different containers, there can be slight variations of color within a container. So what that means is if you were to completely use up 1 can of paint and finish halfway through the job or halfway through the wall and crack open a new can of paint, it's possible where you pick back up that you could see a slight difference in the middle of a wall. You would never see it from corner to corner, but maybe in the middle of a wall you could. So a best practice is when you have 2 separate containers, when you're doing your final finish coats, intermix them really well and make sure that everything's kind of the same product. With a light color like this, I can tell you that the risk of it being different, looking different, is actually very small. If you're working with mid-tones or darker colors, it's very important that you intermix your paint or box your paint before you do it. So we're going to do that. By the way, I got a really funny short about boxing paint where I'm literally boxing a paint can. Check it out.
What happened?
Not that type of boxing, guys. I just meant if you have more than 1 gallon of the same color of paint, intermix them all together before you put on finish coats so that you don't have any inconsistencies of color in your final result.
I don't know what happened. I had on.
We're going to intermix this. This is the fresh can. Everything we've done to this point, we've used most of the first gallon of paint. That being said, there is still a little bit left in each of the cup buckets. So what we'll do is I'm just going to dump out a lot of this right here, get it out of the can, and then we'll take what's left in the cup buckets. You could obviously just dump all of this into like a separate 5-gallon canister or 2.5 gallon pail. We're not going to waste a bucket for that, but you see, I'm just going to dump out what we had left in there. Drag a little bit of it out. We're going to drag some of it, pull some of it out of here, whatever we got left in here, get it in there. And again, it's a pretty low risk with a color this light, but if you were working with a deep green, deep blue, bigger deal. This is where I'll kind of just pour paint out from the side here. Just make sure you have a paint handy, or a brush handy, I'm sorry, and so that you can wipe that. And then what we'll do, put the rest of it in here. And just this back and forth, this intermixing of paint like that is going to do a really good job making sure that even though we're working from product from 2 cans, it's all really intermixed. And we can feel really confident and good. Why, let me see your rag. So when you pour from a corner like this, always just, take the rag, make sure that's not going to drip on you. Now what I'll do is just a little back and forth here. You could stir it with a paint stick if you want. With a light color like this, I'm not even going to worry about that as long as I got this really good back and forth. We'll do one more. I'm going to be happy with how that product was intermixed. So now I'm going to dump some of that in there. This is going to be my cup bucket. We're going to give Wyatt back his cup bucket. Pour some of this in here. Don't overload it too much. And then I'm going to load this up. Got a little sloppy here. This is actually, I'm glad that happened. which fine, but that's why we have things down on the floor. Paper protection's great. That being said, if you clearly see that you had a big drop like that, don't leave it dry, because if somebody walks through here, they're working, they're going to step on it and track it through. So if that happens, just wipe it like that, and then you don't have to worry about it getting on any worker's shoes. All right.